Now, Bitcoin slid as much as 26% over Sunday and Monday, its biggest two-day drop since March. It's wiped out about $185 billion in value since Friday. Now, Bitcoin up today, but that steep sell-off is fueling concerns that the crypto bubble may be about to burst. Even with recent slide, though, the cryptocurrency has still seen a surge of more than 400% over the course of 2020. Now, one winner of this rally has been a company called Argo blockchain, a cryptocurrency miner, dual-listed in the U.S. and the UK. It has rocketed more than 200% in the first trading week of 2021 alone. Well, joining us now, we're delighted, is Peter Wall. He's Argo blockchain Chief Executive Officer. Peter, great to have you on Surveillance. Thank you so much for coming in. Now, for those that are less familiar, with what exactly you do, you mine it, and then do you sell it on, or do you keep it?
Yeah, so we're cryptocurrency miners. We mine primarily Bitcoin. So our computers are out there searching for Bitcoin, verifying transactions on the blockchain. And in exchange for that, we get Bitcoin. When we get Bitcoin, we use some of it to cover our operational costs. And most of it, at this point, we hold because we think Bitcoin is a great asset class and is moving in one direction.
How do you generate the power needed for your operations?
So we have facilities with various hosts in North America. And the primary power source that we have for those facilities is hydroelectric power.
I mean, there's increasing attention about the amount of energy that Bitcoin uses to mine. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, look, I think it's a problem that needs to be solved. We need to make sure moving forward that cryptocurrency mining companies are as green as possible. We're fortunate that we have large facilities in Quebec which uses hydroelectric power. And we're always looking for opportunities to bring more renewables into our facilities and to make sure that renewable power is part of our power sources. Cryptocurrency in general, yeah, it does use power, but we think that as the sector matures, there's definitely going to be lots of innovation happening around making sure more green technologies are involved.
So, Peter, how much more, when are you expecting the sector to mature fully, and how much cleaner do you think this mining will be?
Yeah, well, look, it's only 12 years old, Francine. Bitcoin is still a very new technology. I think 2020 we saw lots of institutions coming aboard, which was not, was something that was new. I think the last bull run, when you look back to 2017, 2018, it was really driven by retail interest. But I think in 2020 you saw MicroStrategy really leading the way. Michael Saylor, who's their CEO, decided to put a big chunk of their capital into Bitcoin. And then after that, on board came, Square and Visa and BlackRock and all of these other blue chip institutions. And so as those institutions have come on through the second half of 2020, we've seen more and more interest in the sector grow.
So what are the benefits of investing in a crypto miner instead of actually investing in Bitcoin?
Well, in the same way that yeah, it's a great question. In the same way that you would mine, in the same way that you invest in a junior gold miner, you would invest in a cryptocurrency miner. You believe in the sector. You think there's interest in that. You think that it's a growing asset class. You think it's a valuable asset class, and often you can do better returns by holding a mining company in that space. So it's the same in the cryptocurrency space. There's 5 or 6 listed, publicly traded miners. Most of them are in North America. We're listed in London. We do have an OTCQB application in place. We also have, off the top there, you said we were dual listed. Not quite right. We have an OTC a trading opportunity or trading ability for people to buy and sell our shares through an OTC component in the US. But yeah, essentially that's how it works. It's in the same way that you invest in a junior gold miner, you'd invest in a cryptocurrency miner.
But is it more diversified, or is this a diversification play on Bitcoin, or is it less volatile, do you think? Is it more liquid than Bitcoin?
I think it's similar. Bitcoin is depending on which exchange you're using, is very easy to get in and out of. We've certainly seen lots of volume in our share in our stock in the last month. In London, I think our average trading volume is 30 or 40 million right now. So I think there's lots of interest. There's lots of energy in the space right now, both for actual cryptocurrencies and also cryptocurrency stocks.
What are the risks from regulation and intervention? in your
Look,
space?
it's a maturing sector. So like any sector, there's going to be regulation. It's going to be a dance with regulators, kind of a push and pull. I think we'll see where things land. We think some guardrails are good. Obviously, as a publicly traded company listed in London, we're regulated by the FCA. And I think there may be more regulation required moving forward in the space, but it's still very early days. It's only 12 years into the Bitcoin space.
Peter, I've been going backwards and forwards with one of our star reporters on Bitcoin, Eddie van der Veld, who's also trying to, educate certainly me on exactly some of the concerns going forward. When you look at central banks and possible central bank, more foray into cryptocurrencies, do they still need miners?
It's a good question. I think that they probably don't. I think there's a number of different ways to verify the transactions that are happening in the cryptocurrency space. I think it's a really interesting development that central banks are looking at bringing their own digital currencies forward. They'll be different than cryptocurrencies because they'll be centralized. They'll be only authorized by the government, whereas something like Bitcoin is by its very nature decentralized. It's distributed across a network. It's worldwide. So I think again there's going to be lots. I think soon we'll see a central bank introduce a digital currency. And I think that will spur more innovation in the space, not just for countries, but also for cryptocurrencies in general.
Peter, thank you so much for joining us today. Peter Wall, the Argo Blockchain Chief Executive Officer.